In this town, not only am I hunting for drama, I am hunting for rich daddies.
They say life is what you make it. Well, I say make it full of bears, drinking bourbon, talking about Bravo. Hello!
I'm Hunter Arden.
And I'm Papa the Bear.
And welcome to the Real Housebears. Oh my God, bearers! Oh my God, hi! I'm here to say the podcast word today. My name is Madison. And that is with a 2 N's and a Y, but not when you think it is. Anyways, you're listening to the Real Housebears podcast. I will spell that THE, Real Housebears podcast. So thank you so much. I love you.
Thank you, Madison.
Bye.
It's that little She-Hulk crossover.
Are we going to get some froyo later, bearers? I need my bear time.
So for those of you who have no idea what's going on, we watched the new episode of She-Hulk this week, and there's this character named Madison with 2 N's and 1 Y,
but not where you think.
And we rewound it and rewatched it probably about 108 times last night.
I want to be her for Halloween. So bad. She is like everything that I want and need to be.
She needs her own show.
Yeah, and it's funny because I think everybody in their lifespan has either been a Madison or been friends with a Madison.
Or caught a social medicine on your phone while you were videoing them.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I will do my high school dance right now.
Right now. And then I ran into this demon and he helped me get out. I think his name was Jake. Gosh, it was just so gold and so unexpected.
It was really, really funny. So, we even rewatched it 15 minutes ago.
Yeah. So it wasn't a Real Housewives, but I think she should be a Real Housewife.
Oh. Yes.
It would be a gold.
I want to see her and Brandi Glanville together.
Oof.
Well, it was a huge week in Bravo, but first of all, we got a little bit of Seth and Meredith follow-up.
We sure did.
So they IG'd us this week.
Mm-hmm. They said they listened.
Yes, they listened to the podcast. They were so nice.
Yes.
And I was so flattered that they listened, and maybe they're listening again today. Who knows?
We hope so.
But that was really exciting for them to, acknowledge us and to comment. And Seth made sure to follow us.
We are such housewife collectors.
We are. Oh. But it was really nice. And then, but also in the Marks household, Brooks Marks is not having the best week.
I'm feeling really uncomfortable.
So there's a Broadway singer named Jessica Vosk, and apparently Brooks was at her concert. So this isn't like a rock concert. This is like a vocal performance, And Brooks did an IG Live right in the middle of her performance. And not even talking about her performance.
But was he talking about the performance?
No, he was just answering questions from listeners or from fans, I guess. Well, his skincare routine was one.
Does he have a skincare routine coming out now or something?
No, he just talked about the products that he likes.
Oh, okay.
He talks about the products that he likes. So Jessica Vosk called him out on social media. And
it wasn't even a work Instagram post. It was just a vanity post.
Well, I mean, when you are an influencer and you are a TV personality, your social media is part of your work without question. But maybe it just wasn't the best.
But maybe you shouldn't do it while someone else is working
and
it interferes with their job.
Right, entertaining you. So not a great week for Brooks Marks.
Yeah, that's not great. But you know what? He's young. He probably learned. He's like, all right, I won't do that again.
Right. And then, continuing on the Salt Lake City train, announced just this week that Heather Gay is going to be on a new Below Deck spinoff.
With Angie Harrington.
Yeah. We were like, how did we not know that?
How come she didn't tell us that?
Well, the thing is, we actually did know that she went on a cruise with Angie Harrington, and I did know that she also went on a vacation with one of her good guy friends that she is actually on the episode with. So actually we did know about it, we just didn't know the details. How dare her not share every single detail of her life with us, especially the things that she's not allowed to tell us
about.
I'm
still upset she hasn't sent me all of her calendar, everything on her calendars.
Can we share a Google Calendar, please,
Yeah,
Heather, just
please.
so that we know your comings and goings? Thank you.
I I am over the land of make-believe with these two.
And then switching over from Salt Lake City, Teresa Giudice is on the new season of Dancing with the Stars. I can't wait to see it. I cannot, I don't watch Dancing with the Stars, but I'm watching this one.
You know what would be impressive is as a talent, because you got to have something extra. Like now DeMarco was deaf and he was on it and won the whole series.
Right.
I think that she has to do every dance with her wedding hair on. And it can't fall out. She has to balance on it. She has to do all that stuff. She has to dance and move flawlessly with that head of hair.
That is the challenge.
That's her challenge. She will win if she can do it.
That is the funniest thing. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't even. I just have visions of her doing a foxtrot.
Yeah.
Trying to hold that hair up.
Her neck would snap by at least the third episode. Her neck she'd be in a neck brace for the rest of the episode of
Until
the season.
She gets bedded off.
Yeah.
I'm just really curious to see how well she dances. I'm curious to see how well she takes criticism.
Okay, so I would be really excited about it, but I've already seen her on another show that was a Bravo show, the Island Retreat with all the different ladies.
Ultimate Girls Trip.
And she was the most pleasant woman that I've ever. I didn't even know that Teresa.
Yeah,
so I think, and she's in a new she's working at a different. I don't think she's going to be the Teresa.
Well, I mean,
we want.
she's not going to flip a table when Bruno tells her that she missed a step. But I'm just, she doesn't take criticism very well, just as a human.
Yeah. Well,
so I'm curious to see, just to watch her facial expressions and to watch her not talk back. You
just want her to just watch her be in distress and suffer.
There's also a lot of really good, Shangela is going to be on there. Wayne Brady's going to be on there. There's some other, watchable people, but I can't wait to see that. But speaking of Teresa Giudice,
hey,
we have a new friend who is #Housebears famous.
We usually say this for the very end, but we're too excited because we haven't had a review in a while.
This totally made our day. We stayed up a little bit late last night, so we were a little bit tired going into the hot closet. But once we saw this review, we're like, let's go record a podcast.
And this is, thank you so much, Donna Meagle, 423838. Hello. 5 stars.
5 stars.
I downloaded this app today because I listened to Teresa Giudice's podcast, and it was the worst thing I've ever heard. After I left 1-star review there, I remembered I could become #Housebears famous and leave a review. I love this podcast so much, love these men, love the relationship, and love what they have to say about the Housewives. With that being said, if I don't get a new episode soon, I will flip a table.
Yes,
ma'am, Donna Meagle.
You got your new episode. We've been trying to stay true to a Friday release best we can. So thank you, Donna. I'm not kidding you. This episode is dedicated to you because it really put a fire under our seats.
You sure did.
Yeah, so thanks for becoming Housebears famous, Donna.
Thank you, my baby. I love you so much. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
So finally in Beverly Hills, but not in Beverly Hills episode yet, we've got lots of things going on, especially with Diana, who today they're filming the reunion as we're recording this podcast, and Diana's not there. COVID, I'm sure it had to be proven. Certainly she's just not showing up. Certainly someone had to show a test, proving that she didn't have COVID. But plus she is zooming in.
Is there ever going to be a time where we don't have to keep doing this COVID restrictions all the time? Is it ever going to go away?
It's kind of like when you have the flu, you don't show up. So
let's call Dr. Fauci real quick.
Right. Yeah, I think that's kind of if I had the flu, I wouldn't show up to the reunion and make everybody else sick.
Oh, that's true.
So it's just kind of the same thing. It's just think of it as another flu in a way.
Another reason to get out of school. What?
Well, she didn't get out of the reunion. Bless her heart. She's attending virtually from Hawaii.
She's getting paid while on vacation to do something, just sitting on the couch. That's cool.
Yeah, licking her lips in Hawaii.
Burning money in front of her and giving it to charity or something. I don't know what she does with all her money.
Well, actually, we do know what she does with her money. So also, keeping on with Diana, this week she gave a very large check to the victims of the airplane crash that did not get paid by Tom Girardi.
I wonder how much she gave. Do you know?
It does say. I want to say. I don't remember.
What if she donated the exact cost of what the earrings cost?
Well, I know it wasn't $750,000.
Okay,
but I do think it was like $100,000, maybe. Don't quote me on that. They did say it.
I mean, she's been throwing $25,000 around here and there to any charity, just bringing it up to her.
Right. Actually, I can tell you right now because my friend Tyler was the first person who told me about this, and I was like, "Are you serious?" I was like, "How is Erica going to feel it? $100,000." But I wonder how Erica looks at this. I wonder if Erica looks like, oh, you just made me look like a chump, which you're doing just fine on your own, girl.
Go sell.
Listen, I have very little love for Erica Jane these days. Or did she just think, oh, Dinah's such a charitable person. That was so nice of her. I mean, I can't imagine that it didn't make Erica Jane fly off the handles.
I mean, she did fly off the handles just being talked to about, well, don't you have sympathy for these people?
But the wild thing is, they're friends. Like, remember just not long ago, Erica and Diana and Rinna were coming back from a trip together, just a fun girls' trip together, and then they came and served Erica papers at the airport. Yeah. So they're friends. And plus, Erica loves hanging out with that rich woman.
Have you noticed that every single time there's wealth spread out, Erica Jane's the first one to be like, when can we go through the closets? When can we go through this?
Oh, yeah.
She's the first one. She's so, like, and she's always the first to bring up of what she used to have.
Oh, yeah. It happens in this episode.
All the time.
We'll be talking about that a lot. So, Diana really is, post-production, finally doing some stuff to make me interested in her.
We'll see.
We'll see. So that's a lot of Bravo-ness in 1 week.
Yeah.
That's a lot of levels. There could not be anything more exciting for me.
Wasn't there a Kathy?
Oh, no. Also, the Potomac trailer came out this week. Oh. Salt Lake City and Potomac, the two best casts of all of the Housewives, are on at the same time. Like, that is Bravo peak. And, no one has to agree that they're the best cast, but they're wrong.
We're getting ready for the fall season of TV.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Must-see TV.
Woo!
And a new Below Deck, so every time we're in a hotel, we'll have something to watch.
Oh, yay. Is that with that new, it's not with the original?
No, this one's called Below Deck Adventure.
Oh.
So I don't think it's like in a maybe they're not in one location, like Below Deck Mediterranean, Below Deck Australia, Below Deck, so on and so forth. Gotcha. So life is good. Life is really good. Also, life is good for Kyle Richards because she has a new Aspen home. She could not handle that small one. This poor little tiny cottage that she's been staying in Aspen just wasn't big enough.
I wonder if she got so embarrassed from when Kathy was like, there's no room, there's stuff in the closets everywhere, and she's like, there's no room for anything.
I wonder if her new house has closet space specifically for Kathy. Probably not, considering what's going on these days. Well, we start off this episode, the girl with the diamond earrings. We should have transitioned when you asked about the earrings a while ago, but we just had too much Bravo to talk about.
Yeah, there's a lot of Bravo stuff.
So we start off at Kyle's old, tiny little Aspen outhouse.
Little outhouse.
Kyle is still really concerned about Kathy going to the airport in her house slippers. Like, she even texted Paris and Nikki about it.
Well, yes, and also Kathy brings up, like, her feet hurt. And I'm like, well, it's because you're not wearing shoes. Right. You're wearing these slippers that are so thin, and she said they got them from the hotel, so they're just cheap little throwaway things, and they're dirty. It's just, and to land where there's snow, like, that's not great.
But Kyle's most worried about the vanity of it all. What if someone saw you in public in those house shoes?
I would feel the same way.
Well, girl, if you saw how I went to the grocery store every now and then. With my gray sweatpants on and my house slippers, But then again, I'm not a Real Housewife of Beverly Hills. Sutton has one of the, or not Sutton, Kyle has one of the Sutton rollers.
Eye rollers. I want one of them. She's like, oh, I love this. And she started doing it.
I just call it the Sutton roller now.
The Sutton roller. I want one.
I do too, to be honest with you.
My eyes are so puffy today. Oh my God.
Well, Rinna is talking about how Diana was out of control last night because you know what? When you're in pain, you can't control your rage.
There's multiple times when she's talking, I'm just like, is this the other side of you, Lisa?
Kettle.
Is this the Lisa that doesn't know what the other personalities have been doing? Is this the innocent personality that is Lisa that has just been put into a dark corner in the back of her mind while the evil side of Lisa has been raining terror?
Where did this multiverse come from?
I can't. I don't even talk about multiverses.
I was like, that's really beautiful irony. That is just Lisa Rinna, who has been in pain and been lashing out to everyone.
And mostly Sutton and one person,
Yes.
and acknowledged it and still continues to do it. And actually says, I'm gonna let myself have this one. Meh.
You know, I'm so shady.
Erica then joins them. Can you believe Erica has had 3 knee surgeries?
Wasn't she a dancer at first?
Yeah, but yikes. That means she had to have at least one knee operated on twice.
Well, I wonder how serious the surgeries were.
I wonder if someone was like a cortisone shot and she called it surgery.
Yeah.
She's probably been hanging out with Crystal.
Oh, because you think I like drama.
Sorry. I don't know what to believe anymore. So Eric is going snowmobiling rather than skiing, and she has to go with like the opposite team, which brings, builds us up for something to expect. But Kyle's like, you know what? I have a great time with Sutton one-on-one, but then when we get in a group, Sutton just says things, and I'm like, who are you? What do you even mean? And then Erica kind of like, yeah, even I have fun with Sutton one-on-one. But you know what? At one point, you have to think, okay, I know who Sutton is. I know what her intentions are.
I know her quirks.
Yeah.
I know how she communicates better. I know how
maybe
she communicates now.
does put her foot in her mouth all the time. But I at some point you have to go, oh, but I know what she means.
I'm difficult. You think? Yes, I know I'm difficult.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not like she's saying horrible, awful things and calling you a C word.
Like if you're anxious, socially, just inept, putting cameras on you intensifies that so much. So you would normally do things that you normally wouldn't sometimes.
Absolutely. And also being within this pressure cooker situation with these women who are just like
and the
vultures.
producer said, go talk with her.
Right,
and
right.
When you're not prepared to talk to somebody or you've been thinking about it over and over in your head, it comes out sometimes mixed and you just didn't hit the right points that you wanted to.
Right, yeah. And I mean, who doesn't do that on occasion? All of us. But, Sutton and Garcelle joking about unfollowing Erica was so mean. Just be honest. You weren't joking.
Be honest.
You were being mean. Be honest.
It's true though. Like they are mean girl and they don't care. Like they could do it and it's nothing. It's water off a duck's back. But if somebody else does it that they don't like, it's like, oh my gosh, you're the one that put the nails in Jesus' hands.
But
like,
I just still can't believe though again, I realize as a celebrity unfollowing someone is a big deal, but like to Kyle Richards, it's like she slapped her on the face.
Yeah, she's so overdramatic. Kyle has been kind of too obvious and annoying in how she's trying to stay related in this show.
Well, the thing is, she's perfected the way to stay in the story without being part of the story. And we all get it now, girl. We get it. We get it.
It is so blatantly obvious.
We love you, Kyle.
Like,
all hail Kyle Richards.
Like asking the Ouija board about stuff that's going on in a group. I'm like, girl, you will do not any way to get somebody to talk about stuff.
And you might be a television producer, but you are not a script writer. Okay.
That's why we didn't see a lot of you in Halloween.
Well, Sutton and Garcelle are on their way to pick up their non-friend, Erica. I love that Sutton just kept calling her my
Non-friend.
But, Sutton is in, like, I just want to go and experience snowmobiling and have fun here in Aspen with these people. And
make an experience, a positive experience.
Yeah, she's ready to go have the best possible day with her non-friend.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you go. It's so weird that I'm such a Sutton supporter now.
I don't like it when people pick on somebody because they're different. Or they just don't know how to communicate well. I just don't like bullying somebody.
You know what? We were just talking about this. I went to a high school that everyone was just like me. Mm-hmm. So I love meeting different people. I love diversity, and that sounds so stupid. But
well,
I
it's
love,
true.
like, I don't care what you look like. I don't care what you do. I don't care if you're potentially the weirdest human in the world. I'm fascinated by that. I want to meet different people.
Because I grew up in Reno, Nevada, and there's not too much diversity there. It's just a small mountain town. But when I moved to South Carolina to be with you and I got that job, I was the minority at that job. And I've never experienced what that's like on the other side because I never had to think about it.
Right.
There was always just so many white guys that I worked with in construction stuff, blah, blah, blah. But with, I was the minority at that job and I was so nervous, but I ended up having, the best time with all of those guys.
Yeah, you just learned.
Emma, she was, my favorite girl, too. She would always have her hair done and nails and makeup. She'd be doing it at the end of work, and I'm just staring at her, and she'd be like, "What, Hunter?" I just love everything that you are, Emma.
If we only hang out with people who are just like us, then
we
there's
don't learn
no
anything.
growth. Yeah,
there's nothing, and it just builds up fear and anxiety.
And granted, if I only hang out with people who are just like me, then it would be a lot of fun. Just kidding.
Well, you do hang out with a couple of them in here.
You are a nut job.
So they're getting ready to go leave for their activities, and Kyle goes to check in on Kathy. But Kathy is still asleep. I don't know. I wonder if she sleeps in or she just stays up all night. Last season, she stayed up all night. But I wonder if it's always the
Remember
case.
last season when it's 2 o'clock in the morning and she's like, "Oh, this is a really good drink," and she's drinking Red Bull. Not realizing what it is.
But it's weird because, as Kathy opens her eyes, she's immediately worried about closet space. Were there clothes laying around somewhere that we didn't see?
Well, to be honest with you, I only saw a very small portion of the room.
Yeah.
The camera didn't move any direction, this side or that side. So it was a small little bunk bedroom.
It was. Absolutely it was. Now, I was listening to Bitch Sesh this week while I was traveling, and Danielle Schneider suggested that Kyle giving Kathy that bunk bedroom was an intentionally aggressive move. And then Casey Wilson was like, "Oh, I just kind of saw it as, oh, you're my sister. I made sure these beds are comfortable. And, we have a lot of guests and you're my sister." I didn't think anything about it at all.
If Kathy didn't want that room, she wouldn't have taken that room.
Yeah.
She would, and she actually said later on when they're talking about no clothes in the room, she's like, how'd you sleep or whatever? She's like, "Oh, I slept so good. It's really relaxing in here."
Yeah.
The only thing she was just upset about was there's no place to put anything.
Right. I didn't feel like it was a calculated, aggressive move, but I thought it was an interesting take. But I also wonder if you've been here for a day, and where have your clothes been, and why haven't you just at this point already taken Kyle said "Hey, can you help me move some clothes in your closet so I can have some closet space?"
Well, I think she might have been busy trying to host and get everything set up for everybody, so I just don't think she had the time. And Kathy showed up late.
Yeah. Well, Dorit had a lot of anxiety, so what better way to get rid of your anxiety than go to Diana's nice hotel?
That she had an extra room, just, I got an extra room, come take it.
But, well, maybe the Ghostbusters didn't stay.
Yeah, they probably just had one night. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows what those rooms she keeps? Maybe she buys the rooms around her so she doesn't have to hear anybody around her.
Gosh, could be. So we've got Team Ski, which is Rinna, Dorit, Kyle, and Crystal. Team Snowmobile, Sheree, Garcelle, Erica, and Sutton. So,
what team are you on?
I would be Team Snowmobile. I've never skied before.
Oh, you never snowmobiled either.
But I think that wouldn't take as much strength.
Snowmobiling's so much fun. It's a lot easier than jet skiing, that's for sure.
And I hear that skiing, while enjoyable, is pretty tough on your body.
Yeah, it's strenuous. And if you fell, you got a long way to go down.
Right. And we live in like one of the ski capitals, but
Just do what Kathy does. Just wave your arms out and just scream at the top of your lungs so nobody gets near you.
So Dorit hasn't skied in 20 years, and she is nervous about it. Oscar the Grouch joins them.
It matches her skis, too.
As soon as Diana showed up in that big green jacket, I was like, oh, Oscar the Grouch, how appropriate.
Well, and it's like fluorescent green, too, so it's a little smart. So if you get stuck in the mountain or something, you're easily visible.
But everyone is so excited. Diana! Oh, my God, Diana's here. I'm so excited.
I know, I was like... Oh,
let's try to be a little bit more genuine, girls.
Is Diana... The popular mean girl because she's richer than all of you?
Well, duh. In the town of the richest, yeah. So they're all like on the van, having a great time, talking, chatting, talking about what's going on in the other van. Meanwhile, in the other van, no one's making a sound. Team Snowmobile is silent and on the way there.
Very uncomfortable.
And they greet Jessie, the instructor, who is like a cheerleader.
But I love
Come on, gang.
They're all over it.
But like, not Garcelle.
Yeah.
Oh, not Garcelle.
But they are over it. Like half of them are over it because they're like, can you bring it down a couple notches?
Oh yeah, that's right.
I just need you to bring it down.
Yeah, Garcelle is not feeling it. She's like, Garcelle literally said, "Not all of us are that excited."
Oh, I didn't see that Garcelle said that.
Oh yeah. But meanwhile, Sutton's just talking to the goats.
Animals give me calm, kind of like Jesus. They give me little lessons, like, you're not gonna die, Erica's not gonna kill you, it's gonna be okay. Whew.
When she says that the goats give her calm like Jesus.
Does she pet Jesus too?
Maybe she has a velvet Jesus in her home, like a velvet Elvis.
Ooh, velvet Jesus.
I'm sure there are velvet Jesuses.
I think my mom owned one when we were kids.
Would plural Jesus be Jesus?
And I also think it had the footprints little story on it.
Oh, footprints in the sand?
Yeah.
But Garcelle keeps razzing Jessie a little bit. Like, she is not, but she's not breaking him down. No one breaks him down until they stop and suggest drinking.
Can't operate motor vehicles and drink.
Oh, that's
Come
true.
on now.
That's so true.
Ooh.
And he's like, you can't drink.
And drive. Come on, guys.
Sheree is driving the snowmobile with her and Garcelle, and Garcelle does not like being outdoors in general. I mean, we've learned this.
Because didn't she do that like little four-wheel coaster thing that went on the same path, and she was like super nervous about it?
Yeah, Sutton was too.
Last year.
And Sutton's nervous on the snowmobiles. But last season, Garcelle was like, y'all go have fun. I'm not doing that. More than once.
Yeah, yes.
She does not like outdoor activities, whether it's hot or cold. But Sheree is like torturing her. Sheree is like, let's speed it up. And Garcelle's like, no, slow it down.
I really like Sheree.
Oh my God, I want to hang out with her so bad.
She seems so fun.
Bad. Diana is having a hard time with the altitude, and I was like, girl, I get
Been there.
you.
Been there.
When we came to Salt Lake City for the first time, I mean, I couldn't cross the street without getting winded, and then we went on that
little
mini hike, a hike at best.
We had to stop halfway, and they all went up the rest of the way because we couldn't breathe.
Yeah, and my legs started swelling up.
Yeah.
Like my ankles were no longer true cankles.
Altitude sickness is real.
So it really is.
Air gets
and
really
people
thin.
don't expect it when they come to such high elevations.
And I think you get drunker too at higher elevations because
I
your
might have
blood
heard
is thinner or something.
I might have heard that. So Mauricio joins ski team, and again, some people on social media are very offended that Mauricio gets to join the ladies, but I don't think the other ladies care. They all like him. And again, they're in a place where he has his own home. Why not let him ski?
Yeah.
But again, in other cities, that would
when in New Jersey, that's one that would never happen.
Well, any of them, really. Most of them. And if it was a different husband other than Mauricio, I don't know how I'd even go down to Beverly Hills.
Ooh.
But what's not to like about Mauricio? He's funny and gorgeous and kind. So Dorit crashes pretty quickly.
Okay, don't break a leg.
Going down the hill.
She kind of was defeated before she got up there.
And she was over it immediately. She's like, oh man, if I didn't have to finish this freaking hill, I wouldn't. I wouldn't either, girl. I was with you. But meanwhile, Crystal, she's so competitive. She's like, as long as I'm in first place, I don't care. What?
Nothing.
Okay.
Nothing.
Okay.
She just nothing. She
Okay.
just really wants attention.
Well, over at Team Snowmobile again, Jesse offers, this is when he offers them the hot drink. And they're like, tequila, wine. And he's like, But it's the first time he doesn't sound like a cheerleader, and it really made me laugh.
But if I was Garcelle, I would be like, hey, I'm not driving, technically. I'm being chauffeured, so
Fair.
I can drink, right?
Yeah. So Team Ski is stopping for snacks and Bloody Marys, and Dorit is nowhere to be seen. But Kyle said that she and Mauricio skied a lot while they dated, and that's why she got the confidence to become such a great skier. And then Team Snowmobile finally gets to sit down, and Sutton is still kind of shaken from last night. And Erica's like, listen, everybody shook up. Even Diana got shook up. And Sutton's like, well, not because of me.
This whole conversation is very uneasy because they're touching sensitive subjects, but Sutton is very defensive at everything that Erica says.
Well, Erica is giving unsolicited advice. I wouldn't, considering their history, I wouldn't want to listen to anything that Erica had to say. But Sutton, it's weird.
Sutton again. She does not care if people don't like her. She still leans in. I really do like you. You know that. And I'm just like irritated about it. And I'm like, you don't.
Well, Garcelle was
have
right.
to.
She's like, if they would just drop the bull, they would get along great. Because when
It's
they're
true.
one-on-one, they are. Well, and plus, I wonder if Erica, does generally not hate Sutton, but when they're in a group, it's easy for her to bully Sutton.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Because who didn't speak up last season? I mean, come on.
I mean, who didn't speak up this episode?
Right? But I did like it tonight when they're like, at dinner tonight, I'd rather sit next to Erica. And she's like literally sitting there. Like, I thought it was a funny joke. I thought it was a funny joke,
too.
I think Erica thought it was a funny joke,
Yeah.
too. Yeah, something's funny. So now we've got Dorit on the phone with Jagger for a minute. That was a really sweet moment. But I like the moment when Sutton has sock marks on her ankles. And Sheree's like, this looks like you got wrinkly ankles.
I was like, I don't want anyone who has wrinkly ankles.
Sutton was the same way. She's like, I don't want to, but I don't. Sutton didn't really think it was all that funny.
I like Sheree. She's so funny.
She really
just cracks me up. She hasn't really said anything that puts her foot in her mouth, or make her look like she's just really trying to dig herself in. She's blending in pretty seamlessly, isn't she?
Yeah. You know what? I think what makes her a good communicator is she communicates with just facts. She doesn't put opinion in it to ruffle your feathers. She doesn't put
explanation.
She just says what is true, and you can't argue with that.
And it's very it's small. It's like a sentence, maybe.
And she doesn't say anything you can tell that her intention is not to offend you, just to state the facts. Mm-hmm. And that's the way I like to communicate.
Gosh, I wish you would.
Well, then we wouldn't have any fun in the bedroom. Garcelle brings Crystal some tequila. Garcelle's out of breath now. And then they talk about how, it's okay to be on different sides. See, it's things I told you all last week. If Garcelle and Erica truly just put it all down and say there's no pressure here to be friends, that they'll start to get along. Just like they said about Sutton and Erica.
I don't know. Not after when the real
it's coming up.
airs.
Yeah.
They're definitely not going to be friends because Erica is heated.
Oh, yes, she is. So Erica tells Kyle that she actually had a great day with Garcelle and Sutton, and they communicated and had a great time, and then...
And I've heard this multiple times.
Right. You've done it with Sutton over and over again.
Over and over again.
Just like Rinna does. Everyone with Sutton. They forgive her, but then it's just
one-on-one, they're just like, oh, no, I really like you, we're good friends, and then behind their back, like, just stab her.
I like that when Garcelle and Crystal were talking, Crystal said... Erica considers herself a victim, too. And I think that was a piece of the puzzle that I just didn't have the right words to say.
Yeah, when she said that, I was like, that was good.
Yeah, and I think that we were all kind of thinking that, but she put it in the right words, which was so simple.
Really simple. It was really easy. But it's hard to talk to Erica about anything about this legal issue.
Oh, 100%.
Anything about it.
So they're all on their way to dinner, but they could almost never get there because Sutton can't get in the van.
She has no leg strength.
She doesn't have any body strength at all. And plus, she's wearing a tiny little dress. And she doesn't want to flash anybody. But she really just has she has no arm strength. She has no leg strength. Probably no core strength. But she was a dancer. How is that possible? But
I don't know.
Really made... it was really funny to me. I would have been aggravated if I was tired and hungry.
When I saw it, I'm not trying to say that she is a dog or anything like that, but it reminded me very much of when your dog is really, really old and you have to lift his back legs up to get him into the van. I was like, can somebody just get a towel and put it around her waist and lift her in there?
Right.
I mean, let's do this. She probably weighs like 20 pounds.
Seriously. That is hysterical. Well, before we get to Campo de Fiore and another dinner from hell, do you want to take a quick break?
Yes, please.
All right, we'll be right back.
Bye.
I enjoyed that.
Yeah, that was really
That
beautiful.
was really fun. It was very beautiful.
Yeah.
We'd like to give a shout out to our sponsor, Anchor by Spotify.
If you haven't heard about Anchor by Spotify, let me give you a rundown. Basically, it's the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need all in one place. Here's how it works.
Anchor lets you record and edit podcasts right from your phone or your computer, so no matter what your setup is like, you can start creating today.
Then you can distribute your podcast to the most popular listening platforms, including Spotify, with a single tap. Anchor is also the only place you could publish video podcasts to Spotify directly.
With Anchor, creators can earn money in a variety of ways, including ads and podcast subscriptions.
And best of all, Anchor is totally free.
Download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
Today. And we're back.
We're back at Campo de Fiore. So, another great opportunity to use the word décolletage.
Look, I wrote that word. Her low plunging décolletage.
I know that you love that word.
It's my new
so
word.
Much. I was really excited. I was like, certainly Hunter's writing down décolletage at this very moment.
I was so proud of myself when I wrote it too. I didn't spell it right.
I
that's
didn't.
okay.
I missed it by one letter the first time and then auto-corrected it. But actually, it's kind of funny. I did glance over at you during one time taking notes this episode, and I did notice that you don't fix your misspellings and stuff. Like, you just leave them un-auto-corrected.
Yes, because ever since the beginning of time of computer keyboards, my fingers just don't work on them very well, and I hit letters before they should. Like, the word "the," I always spell T-E-H because my fingers, I
Just
can't
go that
just
way.
go that way.
There are some words that I type that I just always misspell.
On my iPhone, I have the predictive text set, so if it does put T-E-H, it goes straight to the.
I just thought it was so funny because, like, if you look at my notes, there's, like, punctuation and correct grammar, and if I misspell a word, I correct it and all that stuff. And then yours, I just see a lot of underlined words. And not that it's anything wrong with it, it's just funny how different we are about that.
Yeah, and if you look at our education degree, you got your, master's at 20-something?
22 or 23.
And I graduated high school. So,
but I didn't
do
have
you think I took any good notes at all, ever in school? I barely got through it. Do you think I'm going to take good notes now in my 30s?
Well, no, you take good notes. I just thought I'm anal about my notes. That's all it was.
I'm just not a good note taker. I have never been a good note taker.
You took good notes about the Housewives.
I know, but it's so sporadic, and I always have to have you lead off on the storyline because it just helps me. I just chime in. I'm like, man, this is my opinion. Hey.
Well, at least you now know about décolletage.
Hell yeah, it's like my favorite word. It's so fun to say. Say it. Décolletage.
Yes.
Décolletage. It sounds so sexy and
It
hot.
is very sexy.
Décolletage.
It is.
It's so hot. We need to name the hot closet that.
No, it's the hot closet.
Décolletage room.
We cannot rebrand the hot closet. We will find something else to call the décolletage. Maybe not right this minute, but
Maybe
we'll
we'll just start wearing décolletage.
Should we just start wearing like low plunge?
Yes.
You know, I love a V-neck now.
It's about to be winter. We could wear sweaters and put it down in the hot closet.
Maybe V-necks will be our thing for Salt Lake City when we recap Salt Lake City.
I want the deep V-necks where you could see my nipples on the side coming out.
Or just bare, like just a little areola.
A little areola, not the entire,
areola.
not the tip.
Yeah,
just the areola.
I think that's gonna it's like that season I tried to wear that I wore a Madonna T-shirt for every episode. Mm-hmm. That's gonna be Salt Lake City. We're gonna reveal our décolletage.
Or I'm going to do a small V-neck, and it's going to get bigger and bigger and deeper and deeper and deeper.
It's like Top Model, like every time.
With what's
Mr.
his
J.
collars?
Miss J.
Yeah, Miss J.
He did something different every season. So they're that's funny.
Woo! Let's do this!
So, but it was really cute that like Erica and Sutton were having a décolletage moment, and then Kathy jumps in. She's like, "Well, you can do it because you have little girl boobs." I know what she meant.
I know it, and she did accumulate or compare that to Paris Hilton.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, would it have been better? She's like, but you have itty titty bitties, you know, like
yeah,
it's
no
just
woman,
the way she said
I don't
it
think
was,
any adult woman wants to hear that.
Why don't you
maybe
just say
they do? I don't know.
You could pull that off because your boobs can stand up by themselves.
Yeah, that would be a nicer way to say it.
That'd be a nicer way to say it.
That would be a nicer way to say it. But then Erica turns to Garcelle and said, "I had fun today with you. Thank you." And I was like, told y'all, once the guards get down, they're going to become friends until Erica starts running her mouth. But still, I was right, and I'm gonna take that victory.
I was right, and I'm gonna give this one to me because I deserve it.
Yes.
And I've been through a lot this week.
Well, there's been a lot going on in Bravo, and you know how that affects me.
I know.
So, Kathy says that she has a storage room at the Waldorf Astoria full of like fancy clothes, like
from what it sounds like, it is a time capsule because she hasn't been there in probably a century at least.
And she said they haven't torn it down yet. So does
it's
that mean
probably still there.
Does that mean that it's closed, but she still has a storage room full of stuff there?
Yeah, that she doesn't care that if it did get blown down, she doesn't care.
Okay.
She doesn't even care check.
I think it's all good.
But isn't your homes big enough to fit your clothes where you don't need to put them in the storage there?
You know what? She moved because she lived in hotels.
Oh yeah, she lived in them for a while there too.
So she just moved out and probably forgot about that room. She's like, "Oh, I'll deal with it."
But did you hear the second she said that? The first person to chime up was Erica. When do we get to go over there and look through all of it?
But I have a McQueen too. I have a Python McQueen jacket.
Okay, this.
And look at my fancy
Oh my
purse.
God.
I didn't even know I had this fancy purse.
Erica,
I didn't even
stop.
know that this purse existed. I've had it for so long and I just kind of forgot about
Erica,
it.
oh my God. It's a one of a kind. It looks like it's signed too. Oh my God, Erica, stop.
It's just you think about having to go back.
Erica, stop. Stop. This is the most uncomfortable scene because everybody's been talking and all of us have been talking about that earrings that are worth $750,000 that she will not give up for any reason, even if for empathy or anything. But she's going to brag about all of
her
this.
riches. So here's what
I can't.
Okay, but here's Erica's mindset. I'm going to talk about all of these things that are old, so people don't think that I'm spending money right now. That's what Erica's thinking. She thinks she's validating the fancy things she has because she's had them forever. She just forgot about them. But the rest of the world is going, "Oh my God, you're flaunting all of this wealth and in this situation where your wealth could help someone." But Garcelle knows how to shut her up. I'd like to know what $750,000 earrings look like.
Ooh, man, I was like, Garcelle, you have a backbone.
You know what? I will say, even though some things stayed the same in Beverly Hills, remember last season, I didn't like Garcelle or Sutton, and now I am totally on their train. So at least some things are evolving.
Everything, at least we are evolving. Thank you.
Because it's about growing.
This podcast is about learning, showing, growing, accepting and berating. But mostly, it's about bears and housewives.
and going off the rails.
Yes. Okay, so back to Erica flaunting all of these value possessions, which are just materialistic objects. In my head, I was thinking, okay, maybe she doesn't want to get rid of these earrings because she might have to hawk them herself at some point.
I've always thought
because
that.
she doesn't have enough value to herself. But
I've
this
always
proved
thought
me
that.
wrong right here, that she has a list of things, one-of-a-kind things that are worth a lot of money that she could fall back on.
Yeah.
If she needed to sell them for devastating ways, I don't know. But Erica just makes herself look so horrible in this scene, this episode.
I agree.
But she just can't get it through her head that just because you are showing empathy and helping people doesn't mean you're guilty.
Well, we can get to that one later.
Well, Erica has the perfect answer for everything. So, everything that you ask her, her answer is going to be the law. Put a few words in front of it or a few words behind it, but it's going to be the law. For one thing, that makes her look good in the court, she thinks.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what it makes her look.
But it doesn't matter what you ask her. Erica, why are you wearing a purple suit today? Because in the court of law, purple is what they say.
Was the dress white or blue?
Well, all that matters is that the law decides.
And you need to let the law do its work.
Yeah. It has to be proven under the law if it is a white and gold dress or a black and blue dress.
And Erica's like, oh, what? Was it stolen money? Was it stolen money? And I just want to keep saying, like, if it was paid with his money that he was making, it is stolen because he stole that money from people. That's not your money to give. Second of all, you have shown the entire world this last couple of years that off of his wealth, you are where you're at in life right now in your wealth.
Yeah.
So it just makes you look so gold diggerish.
Well, Garcelle doesn't mince words. Erica's like, were the earrings stolen? And Garcelle said, I don't know. I mean, like, were they bought from stolen money?
Yeah.
You know, the earrings themselves were not stolen, but they could have been purchased from stolen money.
Yeah,
But to Erica, since she did not steal those earrings from someone, she's not guilty of anything. And technically, you're not.
And I keep trying to put myself in her place, and that's why I was thinking about maybe she needs to sell them at some point. And also I was thinking, this man that I've been with for so long cheated on me, bought women jewelry, and this earrings are probably because he was feeling bad about cheating on me. Why do I want to hold on to these?
Well, his mistress just recently gave back everything that he ever gave her.
Ooh. Oh, man.
Jewelry.
Ooh,
Gave it all back. Gave it all back.
Oh, man, that is not good. That is not good. Erica, man, you...
I mean, she wasn't married to him, but nonetheless.
Nonetheless, like, that shows that you have character, and it shows that you have empathy, and shows that you will do what is right and fair when you have to.
I may not believe a word Crystal says, but I'm totally on Team Crystal in this conversation coming up later.
I mean, if I grew my entire business of identity off of his wealth, and now it comes out that he was stealing money, like, doesn't that make you have any kind of feeling at all, Erica?
Right, yeah. It's not, no one is any longer questioning
it's not that you're
your
guilty.
Wrongdoing.
Yeah, he's
no
the
one
one that did
thinks
it.
that you did any bad business practices that stole money. But we all believe that you were given a considerable amount of wealth from stolen money, and the least that you could do is something charitable.
Something. I mean, giving those
Why is
earrings
that hard
back
so to say?
would be so easy for her.
But you know what? If the law does not tell her to be charitable, then that's injustice. That's all you gotta do. Just talk about the law. But it should be against the law for not only Kathy Hilton to wear house slippers at the airport, but her to bring that grocery bag as a purse. I mean, come on. I mean, come on.
I love it that Kyle's just like, let me show, texted to Diane, let me show you Kathy's bag. You want to see wealth?
But seriously, you don't have to carry $1 million bag like the other ladies do just because you're rich, but maybe a real purse.
Not a cloth.
I mean, what's the point of being rich?
I do find it, I guess, relieving that somebody of so much wealth just doesn't care that much about,
and plus,
all that.
And plus, no normal size purse is going to let you carry like your house slippers and crayons.
Everything in the kitchen sink.
You can find everything in my bag, basically. You name it. Socks, an extra pair of shoes, a sweater, carpet samples, drapery samples, wallpaper samples. There's sandals in there for a pedicure. You know that. Actually, I can't find my bag. I was actually looking for the bag. It's a big bag.
And whatever kind of crazy stuff Kathy has.
And also, Kathy loses everything. Why is she going to bring expensive bags with her? She's going to leave them wherever that she goes. Man, Kathy.
Well, I appreciated that moment of levity because there's not much for the rest of the episode. So, back at the Aspen house with the heated driveway. Did you catch that?
Oh, yeah, I caught it.
And I guess what we can say for the 80th time this season, Erica is wasted. Sutton can't get out of the van.
Someone get the towel, wrap it around her waist, help her out.
Right? Everyone's getting into their cozy clothes, but Erica is like holding on to her vanity tonight. She's holding on to looking like she is as wealthy as these women.
A boss-ass bitch.
Yeah. She is really obsessed with her image this tonight.
And it's so off-putting. I don't take anything off unless it's for a man. I'm like, what are you trying to prove? Like, everyone's just chilling. Like, it's the end of the night. I would kick my high heels off. It's not showing that you're trying to look so good for all of us. Like, there's no men coming, honey. Right. This is the end of the night.
Yeah, we're tired. We're getting comfortable.
Yeah, and quit being so damn defensive, honey.
Seriously. When she's drunk, she does. When she's drunk.
She gets testy.
Yeah, she does. Did you ever think that we would live in a world, as a kid growing up, did you ever think we would live in a world where people are just eating edibles on television? I'm all for it. I mean, especially they're in a legal state and all that.
Well, actually, no, because when I was in high school, I was like, man, I can't wait till this becomes legal someday, because it was in talks in the early 2000s that things was going to start changing. And so I was like, man, that's awesome. And then Colorado did it first. But every state that I've moved from, that I've lived in for a very long time, as soon as I leave, that's when they legalize pot.
But did you ever think you would see it on TV? So
on a reality show,
just so freely,
it
was so taboo.
It's like sometimes they, like, even on animated shows, they can show people smoking pot, but they can't show them actually smoking, breathing it in. They can blow it out, but they always cut screen.
It's weird. I just never would have thought it would be so common.
But for the first time this season, I want to be friends with Lisa. I'm like, hey, girl, break me off a piece.
Break me off a piece of that Kit Kat weed.
I just think that we need to have fun.
That's funny. Well, Sheree's a little bit scared of it, but I think she did end up eating it.
She did, because she was like, it tastes like weed.
So Kathy pulls out a bottle of tequila. So normally she hates tequila. That's how she starts off. So normally I hate all tequilas, but this is the one that I like. She and Nikki and James are investors, and she wants everyone to try it. So she's giving like a little presentation, even though, she's...
Which is a little odd to just randomly just do a presentation at the end of the night.
But anyone who gets cast on the show, they use that opportunity to promote their businesses. Yeah. That's how it works. And Kathy has been talking a lot about it this season, but she hasn't had like her
breakout moment where all eyes on me. All eyes on me.
Yeah.
She's been doing it to like one or two people at a time.
Yeah, and so she's like giving a little speech, and Kyle is drunk and high, and she's just being stupid.
She like blurts out a raspberry or something like that.
Yeah, makes little noises, and she's giggling, and just totally stops Kathy's moment.
You could tell how angry and like pissed off Kathy already is, but could you tell she was already pissed off the second she woke up?
Oh yeah, she woke up in a bad mood.
So I want to say that there's something else going on. I just feel like, I think that Kathy doesn't feel like her sister, Kyle, is giving her enough attention.
Yeah, yeah. And again, how many times have we talked about the agency? How many times have we talked about Rena Beauty? How many times have we talked about all of
The
these
Sutton stuff, yeah.
Yeah, so just give her a minute.
Yeah.
So she's still interrupting, and then finally, when Kathy gets finished, Erica won't do tequila. Sutton only drinks vodka. Like, none of this is going well for Kathy. Like, none of it. No one's interested at all. I wonder if it's... Since she has I wonder if some of them have tried it and don't like it. That could be. It could be.
And Kathy, she kind of wanted them to do like a little essay after tasting it. I'm like, I've been drinking all day. If I'm not going to taste and be able to taste every note from this tequila right now.
I'm not going to be able to taste any notes.
I'm like, it's good, I guess. Yeah, tequila.
Tequila.
Tequila, tequila.
Tequila. So Garcelle fills Crystal, Diana, and Dorit in on her conversation with Erica at the table about the law. But Garcelle's like, let's not talk behind her back. Let's call her over. And Erica's over there like looking like Gollum.
She's like,
what are you calling me over?
What do you want me over there for? Because I'm not going over there if it's for somebody talking about the law. Nobody takes my precious.
But Erica really just continues to talk about how I'm not going to do anything that's not required by the law. Bottom line, I don't want to help. I'm only going to do what I'm ordered to do legally. And Crystal's like, well, what about just doing what's right versus just doing what the law says?
Ooh. And even Diana, I don't think she says it there. I think she says it in her I think she does say it there. But she says, if everybody's so passionate about these earrings and the people, how come nobody's forking over any donations to help these people,
And then Diana did.
Did. She put her
just this week
money where her mouth is.
Yeah, she did. Diana's only been interesting after the show.
That's it. It's like she's just kind of opened up. And I'm wondering if it's maybe because after the loss of the baby, she might have been on some meds. That might have taken her fun light out a little bit. Right. So maybe she's getting off that and feeling happier and she's being a different person.
Oh, okay. Look at you giving Diana maybe.
Where's my doctorate?
So Garcelle's, I'm having a hard time with that. Garcelle says what we've all been saying.
I think you don't have the compassion because you don't want the compassion to seem like you're guilty.
Having compassion doesn't mean that you're guilty. And Erica's response is, but I'm not guilty. That's what we just said.
Anybody's trying to say, and it's.
But you know what? Erica is certainly not sober enough to have this conversation.
And we can't communicate with her. We can't get it across that hill or that line where she can understand. Stop putting yourself in the victim and terrifying them. Put yourself in a mode where these are people that your husband hurt, took money from. You are married to him still.
Yeah. No, you're not obligated.
Don't solve the whole problem. Maybe a handout, maybe something would make you look like less guilty.
I don't give a about anybody else but me.
Okay, so those memes where they compare stoners with alcoholics dealing with situations, and stoners are always chill, but the alcoholics are all like crazy and lighting stuff on fire. This scene right here where they pan over to the four stoners huddled together, not talking, and just like they are talking, but they're talking about nonsense, stupid stuff, but they're watching the fight, and then it pans over to the other girls all standing away from each other and attacking and screaming and fighting, and I'm like,
funny.
Marijuana? Alcohol.
The edible has taken effect.
That's funny. That is funny. But, Erica just keeps, fighting about feelings versus facts. And Crystal's like, the facts are that there are dead people who who had money that was stolen from them. No one's saying you did it. No one's saying that you knew anything about it. But that's the facts. Well, where are you getting those facts?
Ooh, and Erica says potential victims. Ooh.
Yeah, because that was one thing that was coming out in the media, is that part of the story was that some people were saying that they didn't get compensated even though they were.
Mm-hmm. You know what? That might have been with some of them, but I don't know. That seems like there's a lot of people gathering together and all having the same story about what's happening to them being done from him.
But were they defrauded by Girardi Keese, or were they defrauded by Erica Girardi? It doesn't fucking... No one cares. No one cares.
She just can't.
But luckily, Erica does have some friends who are like, she's embarrassing herself. We need to get it. We're getting
Lisa,
her out of here.
of all people, is like, she knows. She's like, no, go out.
Yeah.
And as she's like kicking her out, Erica cannot stop. She just keeps talking.
Lisa has not been problematic for 2 full episodes, and even helpful in this episode. Yeah. So they're like, they just take her out, and Erica just keeps yelling and saying things that she shouldn't, and Kyle's like, Erica, stop.
Yes.
I'm your friend, but I can't defend the things you're saying right now. That's such a horrible place to be. It's such a horrible place to be.
You can't stand behind that person anymore.
But luckily, they get her out. And then previews for... Okay, so here's the deal. I actually watched the episode when I was in my hotel room this week. But I was just kind of casually and doing other things. So I missed the Kathy Hilton tequila moment. Mm-hmm. So up until we rewatched it and took notes yesterday, I was like, is this really over Lisa Rinna getting Kendall Jenner tequila? Like, is this whole big thing over that? So I was like, certainly this is not all over tequila. But now that I rewatched it and saw that how rude they were to Kathy having her moment, I was like, oh, no, this really is. You know, Kathy was looking forward to making some money off of this tequila. Now y'all messing with her money. You're messing with her investment.
Yeah, it's because she's got money into it. So yeah,
I've heard the tequila has since sold out. I've heard that. I don't know if it's true.
I'm sure Lisa Barlow's Vita Tequila has been selling very much better since she's become on The Housewives.
Well, and especially since she's been doing favors, according to Meredith Marks.
Save that. Oh my God.
Well, do us a favor. Follow us on social media. You can find us on Facebook. We are The Real Housebears, and Instagram, The Real Housebears. On Twitter, we are Real Housebears. And you can email us at therealhousebears@gmail.com.
Text us if you need us.
And you could find us on YouTube at The Real Housebears Podcast. And you really should go to our YouTube because we are now airing the whole video of us on the podcast. So you not only just get to hear our lovely voices, you could actually see our lovely faces.
But our YouTube really started blowing up once we started doing video. Like, really blowing up. You can also watch us on video on Spotify. But people are really jumping to YouTube, which has been exciting for us.
Yes. And you can also, you can listen to us wherever you listen to your podcasts as well. And if you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, please give us a cute little review and a 5-star rating, and we will make you hashtag Housebears famous. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, love you. Bye.
What happened?
She just fell on me.
Uh-oh. It's already on. We're checking sound.
Oh, hi, sound.
Hi, sound.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, but I can't hear you.
So stupid.